Hello, everyone. I'm Mason Beam with the Wise News Network, and today what I've got for you is an update on Piedmont Lithium, which is soon to enter a merger with Sayona Mining to form a company called MergeCo. This happened definitively at the Belmont NC office on November 18th, 2024. We'll be going over what that means in the different sections of their press release by order of the merger goals listed at the top of the document, which you can find for yourself by checking our description. And hey, if you find that information useful and are scrolling past it anyway, be sure to give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below, and I will reach out to their media coordinator for any questions that I can't answer on my own in a follow-up video. With that out of the way, the first bullet refers to how the stock ownership split will work, with approximately a 50-50 split on a fully diluted basis immediately post-merger and prior to the conditional equity raising. This means that the stocks will be based on an adjusted value after the merger and equity adjustments from it. If we look at the next section, we can see the approximate raised equity value of MergeCo will be 99 million USD as a goal. To our Australian viewers, we'll be using USD for the rest of the video, but it's roughly 1.53 billion Australian dollars total. Continuing on, we see that the company expects to complete the shareholder approval process and close the deal in the first half of 2025. This will also come with a proxy statement for shareholders prior to a planned but currently unscheduled extraordinary general meeting. Furthermore, the closing is still conditional, and those conditions are outlined later in the press release. As I previously stated, the company plans on closing in the first half of 2025. The conditions to be met are that Piedmont and Sayona shareholders approval by the international regulatory committees, including the Committee of Foreign Investigations in the United States, approval by the Hart-Scott-Rodino Antitrust Improvement Act of 1976, or Law 15 U.S.C. 18A, which outlines that waiting periods must elapse and that it is found that the proposed transaction will not lessen competition in accordance with Section 7 of the Clayton Act. It also must be approved under the Investment Canada Act. The merger must also comply with the Australian Securities and Investment Committee and ASX relief. The proxy statement must also be deemed effective, as well as some more unlisted regular conditions for mergers of this size taking place. Now, this next section will continue to describe how the stocks will be transferred, so if you own stock in Piedmont, this is important. The company merger will result in a parent company being Sayona Mining out of Australia, making it an Australian-based company. For those with common stock in Piedmont Lithium, they will receive American depository shares equal to 527 Sayona ordinary shares per ordinary PLL share held. People who have invested in Piedmont Lithium CDIs will gain 5.27 Sayona Mining Limited AXS shares per CDI. The next few bullet points are dealing with the company they hope to found with this merger. They're using this to create a producer that is geographically advantaged with spodumene resources on a global scale, align with NAL offtake economics, and create the potential for brownfield expansion and remove contractual complexities. Now, I know that some of our local viewers may hear that and wonder if the contract with Chervil will still be upheld by MergeCo. After reaching out to both Aaron Sanders, who is Piedmont's SVP of Corporate Communications and Investor Relations, and Chervil City Manager Brian Dalton, we can say yes, the contract will still be in effect. Sanders responded, all of Piedmont's contracts and obligations will carry over the merged company, including the community development agreement with Chervil. City Manager Brian Dalton confirmed that officials from the company had reached out to the city of Chervil to confirm this. And those of you wondering if any of the initial $1 million from that agreement is still available, Dalton responded it all went to recreation-related expenditures, which leaves further funding from that contract unavailable until MergeCo begins production at the Chervil NC site. Moving on to the amount of mineral resources and ore reserves the proposed company will have after the merger, it expects to have hundreds of megatons, which for those of you who need a refresher, each megaton is 1 million tons after the completed merger. The combined ore reserve would total 70.4 megatons, with a measured and indicated mineral resource of 153.5 megatons of material and a further 51.4 megatons of inferred material. For those who are unaware, the difference in an ore reserve and a mineral resource is that an ore reserve is known to be able to be extracted economically, while mineral resources may not be economically viable per ton to extract. Now we'll continue on to the brownfield expansion plans. This refers to developing property that may contain pollutants, hazardous materials, or other contaminants. This process normally refers to reclaiming said land for business usage, or in the event of being done with it, redevelopment into a green space. This normally results in increased property values surrounding the sites and more jobs on the local market. This press release also refers to an offtake economics with North Atlantic Lithium several times, which is an agreement with several factors. The first being that Piedmont Lithium has agreed to purchase no less than 11,300 metric tons or 50% of production per year from North Atlantic Lithium. This agreement also outlines that once the conversion plant in Quebec begins operations, then spodumene concentrate from North Atlantic Lithium will be delivered there first. The next thing the press release introduces is the idea that this will provide better strategic flexibility, downstream strategies, as well as allowing for better logistics, marketing, and procurement synergies. This will happen not only through the combination of resources, but also through a combination of their corporate structures. It is intended that Sayona Mining's current CEO and managing director, Lucas Dow, will become the CEO of MergeCo, with Piedmont's CEO, Keith Phillips, becoming a strategic advisor. Further news on their leadership includes that the new board of directors will have 4 appointees chosen by Piedmont, and 4 will be at Sonoya's discretion, with 1 board spot from those being reserved for Lucas Dow. Last up, we have the expected changes in the equity fund. This will take place through 3 cases of equity raising. Piedmont intends to raise $27 million in equity funds to be matched by Sayona Mining. This will result in around 1.25 billion new shares in Sayona. Furthermore, if all conditions are met upon closing, MergeCo will enter a funding agreement with Resource Capital Funds, a global mining investment firm, for an additional $45 million of equity. These equity funds are planned to be applied for NAL brownfield expansion and to progress the Iowa, Carolina, and Moblin projects. Now, further information can be found in Sayona's version of this press release, which goes on to detail much of the process, but this video is getting long as is, so if you want to read that 162-page document, then the link will be in the comments below. One important thing to note is that the deal must be closed by September 30th, 2025, or the party responsible for not meeting their material covenants and agreements will lose the rights to terminate the agreement. Well, that's all for today, everyone, but be sure to leave your questions down below, and for more Piedmont Lithium content, check out our channel or stay up to date by visiting wisenewsnetwork.com. Until next time, this has been Mason Beam with the Wise News Network.